Hello. Hello. So I'm Tobie. I am here to talk about my upcoming Volume 1 of Diliman Generation Now. It will be available in PICOF this year. Before I start, just warning everyone, it's a mature comic, so sa mga bata, huwag na kayo tumingin. But we made sure this is safe for public viewing. So the comic, I'll start with the reading and talk more about the book, so I hope you'll enjoy it. So our comic opens with Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. So I guess it didn't work. Oh my God, you really thought it would. Here pa in front of the statue of Mama Mary of all places. Hey, you're the one who saw this on TikTok. That's fair. I heard a bunch of teens died trying something like this back in the 80s. So, I guess that ends my Salamangkero era. I guess so. I know we just met, yes? Would you like to cuddle? Deep down I feel you have a connect. Yes, I want to. I know I'm older and okay, stop. I feel the same way. Do I have your consent? Dramatic music. Yes? Yes. You have mine. So, Diliman Generation Now is a urban horror thriller. It is one of my more ambitious projects. It's a black and white book, and to give you a brief history, what I'm showing right now is the original logo back in 1997 when I first worked on the comic. When I first decided to make comics, it was way back in the 90s. A comic called Flashpoint was released by David Ontiveros, Carlo Vergara, and Joey Goku, so on and so forth, Alex Santos. And they inspired me to make my own comics. So I made Diliman. It was hand-drawn, then imported into Photoshop for the logo and stuff. And for the next few years, I started working on more issues. These issues were all digitally created, all released only digitally. It was shared to people using email, using mailing groups. Sorry, hindi nyo alam yung mga mailing groups. Pero at that time, yung mga group, parang group chat ng mga tao through their emails in order to share files. And through this, I was getting a small following of people who enjoyed my work. In the coming years, I reached 10 issues, and further on, by 2011, I finally finished the entire story of so many issues that never saw the light of day. Because all of this was physically created, scanned, and then digitally edited in Photoshop. Back then, there was an attempt to sell the comic as a burned CD edition. That was in Bahay ng Alumni, near Katrina, was a friend of mine. There were people who were buying CDs that I burned that had PDF versions of the comic. Kung meron man sa inyo may copy na yan, bilhin ko sa inyo kasi collector's edition yan. I had people who enjoyed my work, including Carlo Vergara, who became a close friend of mine. He loved how the language was accessible. It wasn't a Claremont-esque school of writing. Then there was Budget, who found it very interesting and even admitted he liked how I approached magic and inspired how he approached it with Crescent. Albert Orr was also one of the people who supported the book. Sometime later, I even had creators create wallpapers. Digital wallpapers for the comic, so they all made their own spin on it. Yun yung kay Carl, yung nasa side, sa lower corner, Oliver Fulumbalin sa taas, and so on and so forth. And then there was an almost TV series that came out. Diliman was optioned and considered at ABS-CBN for a while, but unfortunately, none of that happened. None of it came to pass. And in the end, I was stuck with a comic that I never released, never published, and worse, I lost the physical files. When I lost the physical files, I got very sad, and I decided, ayoko na po. Fast forward to many years later, I found all my digital files, I put it all together in Blogspot. So that's the URL. It's a product of its time. Feel free to read all 390 pages for free. Do not cancel me, it's a product of its time. But it is a work I was still very proud of. And when I discovered much later Procreate, and this is not a paid announcer, I found myself thinking, parang gusto kong gumawa ng comics ulit. So, fast forward to now. I started working on the comics on Procreate. I was planning to release it as a new web series just because I was thinking, I just wanted to make a story. I did not think I still had readers. But to my surprise, I was contacted and a publisher suddenly, Komiket came in and asked to become my publisher. So, Diliman Generation Now. We have the main original story of Diliman set in 1997. But Diliman Generation Now fills the gaps of the stories in between both the past and the future since that book. We have events happening during the war era. We have events of the childhood of the main characters, their high school years, and the present day. Which, if you've already noticed the hint of this, the present day does talk about the characters in the original comic, but you do not need to have read the original comic to enjoy the book. The book touches on different topics. It touches on religion, on occultism, on urban thrillers, on government conspiracies, on sexuality, on the freedom to express yourselves, and more. It also showcases a different cast of characters, villains and heroes alike, all of whom have shades of gray among them. The leftmost character is someone I call the Confessor. He's one of the major villains in the story. The character in the middle is a character you will discover if you read the book. But here's another glimpse of a few more pages from the upcoming Volume 1. So, what kind of monster would do something like this? Hotel Manila, Ermita, 20 years after the terrorist attack. Anong wala na? Ma'am, sorry talaga. Hi, how can you run out of pralines when you know I like them? Ma'am, sorry talaga, there was a VIP guest. VIP? Do you not realize who I am? Wedding reception po kasi. Ano? The bride paid for the entire batch kasi favorite niya. Tell me, do I look like I went to our wedding reception? No. Then you should have set aside some for me. Sorry po. Character walks. Such horrible service. You should have her fired, Jet. Inang niya. Miss Praline. Miss Praline. Pauline po, Miss Praline, nasan si General Martinez? Ay, oo nga po pala, sabi po ni Boss General, I cannot make it to your meeting, Madam Vice President. Sabihan daw kita as soon as I can tell, Madam, ano ba yung meaning ng as soon as? Kasi yung kasal kasi po, sorry po. And someone please tell the General, I won't leave until he shows up. I'm sorry po, I was just doing my job. Please, I have 2 kids. I voted for you sa elections. Wait. You said you were... Yes po, yes. Immunized? You want me to accept you're one of us? Yes. No, I'm talking. Nowadays, it can be difficult to tell friend from foe. But we can test that. Hold your step. When the previous president first pushed for a war against drugs, many critics insisted it was just an impossible task. Every excuse was raised, from human rights to whatnot. It was violent, bloody, sure. Lots of innocents were caught in the crossfire. But you know what the critics won't admit? It was worth it. The thing is, opportunity invites abuse, and certain horrible people quickly found a new way to seduce our poor, vulnerable, and ignorant countrymen during the newfound peace and quiet we had forged. Salamat. They began recruiting the youth, luring them with promises of satanic power. They trapped them in false lives with role-playing games. They made them have pacts with demons. But God, Almighty Father, did not abandon us. When I was a child, an angel appeared before me and handed me this rock. The inang bato shall show us if you are one of us or one of them. Hindi po ako sa lamangkero. Team Unite ako. Please believe me, kayo binoto ko. Team Unite! As much as I would like to believe you, the inang bato says otherwise. And it has never been wrong. Guard, you know what to do. Wag po! And someone finally some kunyatang pragas. So that was a glimpse of one of the major villains in the book. Just to give you a larger recap, so this is the summary. The book is all about friendship and love against a backdrop of Salamanca, dirty politics, and the search for identity. It's a standalone spin-off of my original book back in 1997, and it has an ensemble of characters, among which we'll have Dev Asuncion, the government aide who is now searching for the Diliman terrorist group. He is unskilled in Salamanca, but now knows he needs their help. We have Officer Joseph Calixto, a young police officer who does not believe in the Salamanca threat, but gets pulled into the whole conspiracy. We also have Casey Lim, a hacker who has been hired by Dev in the search for the terrorist group. We have the Philippine Vice President, Princess Carpenter, who is the antagonist in the book. She believes that the Salamanca threat must be dealt with, and she uses an artifact known as the Inang Bato to identify them. But then we have the Diliman terrorist group, which are the characters from the original book. We have Rich, Bandy, and Gabriel Antonio. One of the two have already passed away, but the two are still part of the book as they try to help the new lead characters in solving the problems. With them are their ensemble of friends who, in one way or another, help and shape the story. And this other supporting cast, General Martinez himself, who is the celebrated general who successfully accomplished the war against drugs and now leads the war against the Salamanca. And Private Lieutenant Jun Cabrera, an inspector who believes that he is doing what's best because he lost his son in the war against drugs. But yes, this is one story about friendship and betrayal told across time. So Diliman Generation Now Volume 1 will be 240 pages. It is for mature readers. It is targeted for release this coming PICOF. I hope you will support the book. And one last set of pages for you to get a teaser on what the book is like. So we have Bandy, who is now, Bandy is now the nun, and she reads historically. Stories of the Aswang were used to control the public. There has always been power in using fear. The Diliman comics are a modern-day version of what Lansdale used back in the 1950s against the Hukbalahat. Disinformation used to control. Parang sobrang effort naman versus just tagging them as drug pushers. True. But remember, they also push the narrative that their war on drugs is over. Plus, the public is so tired of politics that they'd rather embrace a lie and comfortably move on for the day. But isn't it too much effort to make people believe these magical witches exist? I mean, believe even. Well, first you must realize Salamanca is not what most think of it. Salamanqueros are more than just witches and shamans. Nico, let me explain. There were once 5 main paths of Salamanca. They were those who benefited from the foundations of tradition. They remembered the ancient pacts and bargains with spirits. These practiced the byline. Others drew on the innate power of shaping living things and freely shaped emotions and senses. Those who use forging powers are the Mabia. I'm doing this for you, Casey. Others embrace the guidance of spirits, force bargains and deals on the fly, and speak the long language of Diliman. They follow the Abya. And yes, that's an Easter egg, budget plan and taking permission to skip the SS part of this movie. Oh, sorry. Another Easter egg is, if you notice, the upper image is inspired by a painting by Bottom. So the name is hidden there in the background. Few practice the modern approach of chaos, drawing power from invisible connections that exist between all things. And finally, there are those who embrace the opposite of things, finding strength in destruction and darkness. History and popular fiction calls this dark magic. We know it as parang, kain na po kayo, General, yan ang cheese pinito sa akin. Ako, sarap niya. And these are survived by the 5 Salamanquero families, the Antonios, the Asuncions, the Madrigals, the Maximos, and the Vergaras. 4 waged a constant war against the things that revel in the dark, but one embraced the maligno, the aswangs, and the corrupt armies of Satan. It was a war the Salamanqueros kept winning. What the government calls the Diliman terrorist group is not even part of these orders. Most of these orders fragmented through the years. The few remaining families were content to hide and use their abilities in secret. And here we were, just friends who knew how to use magic. Despite that, we were hunted down. We were forced to defend ourselves. Many died, starting with Dale. Rich tried to revive the orders and called us the Magnus Seoclorum Ordo. I preferred to retreat into the shadows. So the comic they're giving away sells their version of the story, gives them control of the narrative. So you're saying Salamanca is real, and you were terrorists, Mr. Bambi? None of us were ever part of a terrorist group, Nico. Yes, we were kids who had powers most could only dream of. We had no political ambitions. But by making us the villains, they were able to further their agenda as heroes of the nation. Bakit? Do you read comics? So we can see the book is very heavy. It touches on how a villain uses comics as the means to spread misinformation. It has a lot of supernatural elements, a lot of topics about friendship, sexuality, and betrayals. And I hope you will support the book when it comes out. It's in many ways my best work so far. So thank you for your time, and I hope you will enjoy it.